Right, in this video sizobe sikhuluma nge-differentiation. I-differentiation yethu sizoyidiscussa in a three-part video. So in this video ngenza part 1 where ngidiscussa the basic rules of differentiation, right? The basic rules are rule 1, rule 2 and rule 3. Someone angayifundisa ngenye indlela, but mina ngizoyisummarize ngale ndlela i-differentiation. These are the basic rules of differentiation. Sizobe senza ama-first derivatives kuphela. And the differentiation esidiscussa la, it's part of i-syllabus ka-grade 12, right? Uma ufika ku first year university calculus course uzothola ama differentiation rules amanye, like ayenza your calculations aba a bit easier nyana wona for i-curriculum ka grade 12. Lawo ma rules lawo aba complicated, ngathini aba complicated nyana for i-syllabus ka grade 12. So ka grade 12 they only give you ama problems adinga only the basic rules for differentiation. E-university uzothola abu quotient rule, uzothola abu product rule, abu sum rule, power rule, which ifana nolo kanje, no rule 1, just by changing etigama nje kuphela. So this one liya grade 12 differentiation is just ama basic rules nje, it's just a introduction ku differentiation. So in things oyenza la, just to explain differentiation, ngizo create a sort of like a series where uzothola 3 yama videos. In the first part ngizobe discussa ama rules, the basic rules of differentiation, bese ngenza nama examples. And then the second part of the video so besikhuluma ngama advanced problems where sekuba nama brackets, nama fractions, sekuba nama roots as well. So in this video, this is part 1. This video forms part 1 of the 3-part video. And then the last part again, part 3. Part 3 uzoba involve amanye ama problems advanced, but wona adinga a bit of manipulation ekuqala before ungawasolve ke wona, but still usa apply the basic rules. Right, good differentiation sisebenzisa also nama notations esiwasebenzisayo or ama symbols esiwasebenzisayo, abu f prime of x, dy over dx and dx, right? Asibuyele lapha kuma rules quickly. So the first rule ithi, if you are given a function f of x equal to k, where k is coefficient, x exponent n, then its derivative yethu is f prime of x equal to the exponent, the exponent n is a multiplier, the coefficient, and then the exponent uphinde uminus ngobani ngo1, right? And then rule number 2. So rule number 1 basically involve a variable enani and an exponent, and the exponent must be greater than 1. It must be greater than 1. Therefore, if exponent is greater than 1, so as we know, this is rule number 1. An example might be as it is a function f of x equal to, let's say, 2x3, 2x exponent 3. We have one exponent term is greater than 1. So therefore, derivative, this is the first derivative. The first derivative is represented by the prime lapha. If you know 1, it has got its first derivative. A second derivative still usa apply the same rules, but asingakhulumi ngama second derivatives, as focus only kuma first derivative. So bheka, if you are given a function f of x equal to 2x exponent 3, therefore uthatha the exponent uyimultiply nani ne coefficient uthola ngaki 6x, and then the exponent uyiminus ngo1. 3 subtract 1 is what? Is 2. So rule 1 apply so okay. Rule number 2, if you are given a function f of x equal to kx, then the first derivative or the derivative is equal to k. So you just drop the x. This one we apply, and like the n can be greater than 1 or n can be less than 1, but lo n akufuneki ukuthi abe ubani ngu-1, right? It's important for x ukuthi abe greater than 1 or less than 1. Rule number 1 uzo apply, right? And then lana n must be equal to 1 to make it to apply rule number 2. So given a function f of x equal to, let's say, 3x, therefore the derivative, the first derivative f prime x is equal to 3, just like above. You just drop the x. You just drop the x. So I'm differentiating in terms of x, right? So therefore variable yethu bani x la, same as above. Rule number 3, the rule number 3 ngithanda ukumbiza ukuthi yilo kanje, it's the constant rule. If function yakho is just a constant, let's say constant ubani u4, let's say our constant is 4, our function is just equal to a constant. Therefore, a derivative for a constant is equal to bani 0. Rule number 3. So the different notations, just ngenzela ama examples la, sisazoyenza ama problems in a moment. I was just giving out ama examples la ukuthi ama rules wa apply kanjani before sizoyenza i-exercise yethu, right? The different notations sizowa discussa in the exercise as well, right? Sebenzisa 3 ama notations with differentiation. F prime of x, the prime means first derivative. dy dx, also this thing means first derivative. I'm differentiating function y in terms of x, differentiating a function in terms of x. But ungawari lama notations sokhuluma ngawo kule exercise soyenza manje. Alright ke, senze exercise ke. Exercise 4, okay, to exercise 4 la, ku exercise 4 yethu sizoyenza only number 1, right? Sizoyenza only number 1. Ngizozama ukwenza wonke lama problems ala ku exercise 1, ku exercise 4 number 1, ne? Okay ke, number 1 asiqale ngo a asho number 1 uthi determine number 1 uthi determine the following. Determine the following. We want to determine the derivative if f of x is equal to x exponent 6. So therefore la ku a bangiphe f of x equal to x exponent 6. F of x is equal to x exponent 6. We want to find its derivative yana, right? So therefore its derivative yalana, this is rule number 1, by the way. This is rule number 1. So therefore rule number 1 sitheni, the coefficient for this power le ubani ngu-1. So f prime x is equal to 1 times 6x exponent 6 minus 1 equal to 6 times 1 is 6x exponent 5, right? This is our derivative. Our derivative is equal to 6x exponent 5. I'm sure to determine f of x if determine its derivative if f of x is given as such, right? Now number 2, sorry, b, sifuna ukudetermine dy over dx if y is equal to 8x exponent 4, right? dy over dx if y is equal to is equal to 8x exponent 4. So lana ke we are using a different notation ke. Ngithe ngizokukhombisa ukuthi asebenza njani lama notations la, right? Therefore dy over dx is equal to, this is rule number 1. So sithola i-derivative yethu go, it's 8 times 4. What is 8 times 4? What is 8 times 4? Is 16, so is 12, it's 32. 8 times 4 is 32. X, 4 minus 1 is 3. Rule number 1. This is rule number 1. And above, we go rule number 1 as well. Rule number 1 as well. So therefore, siyaku C ke manje. C sebenzisa a different symbol, a different notation or symbol. Naso dx open bracket minus 7x exponent 5. X exponent 5. So lana bathini ke check-a la, ne? Now sifuna a derivative in terms of x. Sifuna the first derivative. So lana ke, this is rule number 1 by the way. This is rule number 1 by the way. So it's 5 times minus 7 is minus 35. X exponent bani 5 subtract 1 is what? Is 4. Bheka ke nangabe bakuphe notation ka dx, after finding i derivative yakho, you then remove ama brackets, ne? You then remove ama brackets. That's your derivative, ne? For notation ka dx. For dy dx, ne? You need to say dy dx equal to your derivative, right? F prime x nangaba kuphu f of x, therefore isimbolo kwamele uyisebenzise ubani? F prime x equal to your derivative. Naso uqeda ukuthola i-derivative yakho kwamele uthi f prime x equal to your answer or your derivative. Nangaba kuphu y usebenzisa le notation ka dy dx. Nangaba kuphu dx kwamele ufinde i-derivative yakho bese remove ama brackets. Angithi? Okay, asiqhubekeni ke. D lana basiphe u-f of x ku-d. Nangu d la basiphe u-f of x, then bathi f of x equal to 1 over 4x exponent 8. So therefore, since bangiphe f of x and ngifuna derivative, so f prime x is equal to 8 times 1 over 4. Yamba ukuthi lo 1 over 4 ubani ufana no k. This is rule number 1 by the way. So it's 8 times 1 over 4. 1 over 4 times 8 is equal to 2. X exponent 7 ngoba it's 8 minus 1. Angithi? So therefore, so itholile derivative yakho de ku-e basiphe y equal to 9x. This is rule number bani? This is rule what? This is rule 2 because you are given a coefficient and a variable. A coefficient and a variable yet is raised to exponent 1. N is equal to 1. So this is rule number 2. So therefore, isimbolo esoyisebenzisa about dy over dx. This is equal to 9. Remember, rule number 2, we just drop the x. Right? E, f dx, open bracket, minus 7x equal to. So therefore, after finding a derivative, you just remove our brackets for the symbol got dx. So lana, this is rule number 2 again. This is rule number 2. Now rule number 2. So let's find a derivative ga minus 7x give about minus 7. this is rule number 2, you just to drop x, then kuzoba iloga i-derivative yakho le fg. Okay, ku-g basiphe u-g of x. Okay, ngoba sekuno g la, it doesn't mean ukuthi le notation, okay, I think ibhali iphelele, g of x is equal to 15. So check out, this is rule number 3 ngoba it's just a constant, so therefore g prime x, the derivative yaka function g is g prime x. Remember asijwayele ukuthi kuba no f la, but nangabe kuno g yafana nokuthi kuno f lapha, kufana nokuthi usebenzisa le notation yala, ne, ungabi confused. Asiqhubeke. So lana g of x uzoba equal to 0. Rule number 3 uthi nangabe your function is a constant, your derivative is equal to 0. G h sesenzu h, and then basiphe y equal to px. Y equal to px. My function is represented by y, so check out dy over dx. So sebenzisa le symbol le because i-function yami is represented by y. So check out, this is equal to, this is rule number 2. Lo p confuse lo p lo uyafana no k ku rule number 2. The p will act as a coefficient, will act as a coefficient lo k lo p lo, right? And then the x is our variable. We are differentiating function y in terms of x, so the p is just a coefficient. So therefore this is rule 2. The x drops, kusala ubani u-p. Siya ku-I ke manje. Ku-I basiphe u-dx 1 over 4x, and then but find the derivative yala. So the derivative lana is equal to, this is a rule number, take a guess, rule number, yes, this is a rule number 2. 1 over 4, okay, and then x raised to exponent 1, n is equal to 1. This is rule number 2. So therefore the derivative yega 1 over 4x is equal to 1 over 4. You just drop the x. This is rule number 2. hij. So uyabona ukuthi before uzosolve lama, before uzothola ama derivative, it's always a good idea ukuthi wenzeni u-identify la kwamele u-apply the appropriate rule khona. Njengala ngipointile ngathi okay la kwamele ngi-apply rule number 2, yabona, so on and so on lapha phezulu. So before uzoyisolve you need to identify the rule okwamele uyi-apply lapho. Now wangiphe u-g of x, and ungakhohlwa kwamele u-understand ne-symbol okwamele uyisebenzise lapha. G of x is equal to 1 over 5. This is rule number 3. This is rule number 3 because 1 over 5 is a constant. Rule number 1 over 5 is a constant. So therefore g prime x is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Okay, I think draw a line now. Draw a line so that I waste my paper. Okay, so ngenze j, now asenze k ke manje. K, y is equal to x over 5. X over 5. Okay, bheka uma uzothola ama derivative, especially nangabe udila ngama fractions, ne, just make sure ukuthi x wakho uhlala la eceleni. So bheka ke, y is equal to, in other words komele uyi-arrange kahle kuqala before uzoyisolve, uyi-adjust ibe kahle before uzoyisolve. Nangabe your x uyi-numerator or x wakho uyi-denominator in a fraction, your x must be adjusted in such a way ukuthi uyasuka numerator or denominator bese umbeka la eceleni, right? Since x wethu usuka phezulu, usuka from the numerator part of the fraction, ngiyamsusa u-x ngimbeka la eceleni, so my fraction becomes 1 over 5. Remember, nangisusa lo x, it doesn't mean ukuthi ngiyamsusa kusala u-0, kusala ubani? U-1, kusala the coefficient of x, right? Kusala the coefficient of x, so ngiyamsusa lo x ngimbeka la eceleni, kusala ubani? U-1. So sizokwazi ukuyisebenzisa, ngathini sizokwazi ukuyisebenza kahle ngoba sesiyabona ukuthi this is rule number 2. Ngoba nayilapha ngikhona ukuba ukuthi u-rule number 1. So that's why ngisusa lo x ngimbeka la eceleni. Nangabe uphansi nakhona kwamele umsuse umbeke la eceleni. But nangabe umsusa ngaphansi, it's a different story. Sizoyidiscussa now. For now, asichubeke solve la. Since bangiphe u-y, y representing i-function yami lana, so dy over dx uzoba equal to, remember bangiphe y ngiyosebenzisa le symbol le, or the notation ka dy over dx. So this is rule number 2. You just drop the x, kusala 1 over 5. Excuse me. Right, kanti hij, this is k. Yes, this is k. KL says not dx again much. Dx 1 over 4 dxl, it's x squared over 5. Right, nalena kudingeka ukuthi si adjust before singayisolve ngoba x uyini uyi-numerator, ne? Remember, say adjust kuqala. Why si adjust? Because u-x ukuphi uyi-numerator u-x wethu, ne? So bheka ke manje, as differentiate we are adjusting kuqala, ne? And then our adjuster is nangabe bakuphe u-dx as your notation. Uma u-adjuster, you don't lose the dx in the brackets. You adjust ngaphakathi kwale bracket and move along la ngaphansi, angisho? So kuzoba 1 over 5, x usuka kuphi phezulu, so kuyoba 1 over 5 x squared, close bracket. Now x ekaseceleni, this is rule number, yes, this is rule number 1. Why? Ngoba my x is an exponent that's greater than 1, so therefore 2 times 1 over 5 is 2 over 5. Sesiya differentiate. Nangabe kuno dx, now after naqeda differentiate, so remove ama brackets. Now differentiate, remove ama brackets. Lana zange siwa remove ngoba bes adjuster the x, ne? I hope I make sense, ne? It's important ukuthi ukwazi lo. Now it's 2 times 1 over 5, and then like about x, 2 subtract 1 is 1. Now answer yethu for question L. LM asiye ku M. U-M basiphe u-Px is equal to 5 over x squared. Okay. Lana ngizokufundisa something new. In this question kuzoba na something new. Sizokhuluma ngama negative exponents ku differentiation nokuthi sidila nawo kanjani. Okay ke. Px, so kwamele si adjust kuqala. Adjust u-p of x kuqala. Ngoba u-x uyi denominator kwamele simbeke kuphi eceleni. Kuyoba u5 over 1 x minus 2. X exponent minus 2. Why is it minus 2 now? Because lo x usuka ngaphansi. X nangabe usuka ngaphansi umbeka la eceleni kwamele abe nani ne-negative exponent. But u-x nakasuka phezulu ezeceleni, i-exponent yakhe ihlala i-positive. So p of x is equal to 5 divided by 1 is 5x minus 2. So uyabona ukuthi x nangabe usuka ngaphansi and the coefficient yakhona it's 1, you just write it as this. Ubhala le numerator and then x exponent minus 2. So therefore now we can apply our rules weight of differentiation. This is rule number 1. Usakhumbula ngitheni? Your n must be greater than 1 or n less than 1. So this is rule number 1. Okay, lena ngizoyi-explaina step by step again. Now, sesifuna i-derivative yethu ngoba u-x wethu sikahleli kahle, akekho ku-numerator, akekho ku-denominator. Now let's simplify. P prime x is equal to 5 times negative 2x exponent minus 2 subtract 1. This is rule number 1. So this is equal to 5 times negative 2 is negative 10x exponent negative 3. P prime x is equal to this. Ne? Is equal to this. Is equal to this. Now, nginokubona ama-memorandum even nase-high school nabangifundisa nami way back. But i-answer yethu singayishiyi with ama-negative exponents. Ne? So this is equal to, nangabe i-final answer yakho ungayishiyi nama-negative exponents, but amanye ama-memorandum they give you a mark for finding the correct answer. Noma ungayishiya la, it's still fine, but uma ngabe ufuna ukubhala i-answer yakho as a positive exponent, ungavele uthi minus 10 x exponent 3. In this case, lo x wakho ngoba une-negative exponent, in order ukuthi wenze le negative exponent ibe positive, uzoyisusa la eceleni uyibeke kuphi? Ngaphansi as i-denominator. Just like this. Right. Uzoba na more cases afana nalawo, especially kulama problems alandelayo lawo. Ungawari, uzoyi understand. Now this is besenzu m sesiya ku n ke manje. Ne? Sesiwenza u n ke manje. N but n is equal to y equal to 4 over 5x. Ne? 5x. So my function is represented by y. So therefore, sisebenzisa le symbol ka dy over dx. But there's a problem la. I hope uyayibona. Problem yethu ukuthi x uyi-denominator. Let's adjust the function yethu ke. Y is equal to 4 over 5. X suka ngaphansi iza la eceleni. Ngoba usuka ngaphansi, i-exponent ka x izoba njani? Izoba negative. X is raised to exponent bani 1. Nangisusa ngaphansi ngibeka la eceleni, the exponent izoba a negative. Now, everything adjusted ke manje, ne? Yonke into seyi-adjustekile. Now, let's simplify ke. Let's find the derivative here. To dy over dx is equal to negative 1 times 4 over 5. It's negative 4 over 5. X minus 1. This minus 1, so we subtract 1 again. This is rule number 1. But anyway, it's minus 4 over 5x negative 2. So our final answer, remember this is a negative exponent, ngizofuna ukuyibhala as a positive exponent, 5x squared. This is our final answer. Why ngikhombisa ukubhala ama-negative exponent as ama-positive exponent, especially ku-final answer yakho? It's because amanye ama-teachers, man, yabona, ba-expect ama-students wabo ukuthi abhale ama-solutions wabo in a certain way. Abanye ba-recommenda vele ukuthi your final answer even ama-positive exponent, just like iloka i-former teacher yami bekasoloka i-emphasize lento le. Write your final answers as with ama-positive exponents, right? So, but mina inkinga ngiboni la ngoba ama-memorandum amanye they award you for just leaving i-answer yakho la, ne? For leaving i-answer yakho la. But nami ngathini angazi ukuthi your next exam i-memorandum yakhona izobe ihleleke kanjani. So just learn to write ama-final answers wakho with positive exponents, ne? And sesiyaqhubeka sisiya ku-O-ke manje. O, dx, yabuya le symbol ka-dx, 3x squared over 2 plus 3x over 2. Right, lana yabona kudingeka ini ke? Kudingeka adjustment ke. dx, it's 3 over 2 x squared, ngimsusa phezulu ngimbeka la eceleni. Nayisuka phezulu, x wakho nakasuka phezulu, nakeza la eceleni, i-exponent yakhe ayichange, ihlala i-positive njalo. You only change it if x usuka ngaphansi. 3 over 2x nazo equal to, now yonke into seyi-adjustekile ke manje. Now we can apply ama-rules wethu. So sonke lesikhathi thina besenza only ama-problems with i-term eyi-1. Now sesina-2 yama-term, ingakuthusi lento leyo, ne? It's part of the process. Besidila nga-1, only 1. Now sesiyenza 2 yawo, yabona? Nangithi besenza only 1. First example bekune-term eyi-1. Second example bekuyi-term eyi-1. Third one, term eyi-1, term eyi-1, njalo njalo, njalo njalo. Manje sekaba ingaki? Sekaba yi-2. Ingakuthusi lento le. Manzi amancane la. Alright. Term number 1. Apply ubani? Rule number 1. Term number 2 kuyoba rule number bani? 2. Right? Rule number 1. Okay. Sengiqedile uku-adjusta, ngi-identify ama-rules ekwamele ngiwa-apply ke la, ne? Now, sengithola ama-derivative. For this notation, komele ngenzeni? Ngitheni komele u-remove ama-brackets nangabe sowuthola ilo kanje i-derivative yakho for notation ka-dx. Now, it's going to be rule 1. It's 2 times 3 over 2. Answer yethu 3. 2 times 3 over 2. It's 3 answer yethu. X, exponent 2 subtract 1 is 1 plus, this is rule number 2, just to drop x, kusala 3 over 2. This is your final answer, ne? This is your final answer. Unfortunately, i-calculator yami ayikho duzane. Bengizothi nangi-explain bese ngiyayishala ku-calculator, but how did we get u-3 la? Athi ngi-explain la eceleni. It's 3 over 2 times 2 x 2 minus 1. Nangi simplify further, lo 2 cancel lo 2 kusala 3 x 2 subtract 1, it's 1. That's how I got 3x exponent 1. Because amanye ama-viewers, they might be asking themselves, umthole njani u-3x1? So ngimthole ngale ndlela le. And then OP, P, basipha u-P, x equal to 5 over 4x exponent 4 plus 5 over 4. Therefore, I don't need to adjust anything. X useceleni, so yonke into i-grant la, ne? This is rule number 1. This is rule number, rule number 3. This is a constant, right? Now, saying apply ama-rules wami ke la. So this is P of x. Ngiyosebenzisa le symbol 80, le notation 80, P prime x. Remember, ngithola the first derivative la. So therefore, it's about 4 times 5 over 4. Our answer is 5. X exponent 4 subtract 1 is 3. Plus bani 0. This is our answer. This is our answer. So PQ. So see how Q get back. dy over m y equal to 4 over 5x. 5 plus t squared, and then in brackets but t is a constant, t is a constant, so this is a constant. Alright, lana we need to do ama-adjustments kuqala. So kuyoba y equal to 4 over 5 x minus 5 plus t squared. Lo t squared angakuthusi, bathini, it's a constant. So this is rule number 3. Why? Because t uyini, uyi-constant. And then x wami lana uyi-variable, so uye ngizomdifferentiate, not u-t. So 4 over 5 x exponent minus 5. So yonke into i-adjustekile, i-right. Now we can find its derivative here. To dy over dx is equal to negative 5 times 4 over 5. Our answer is minus 4. X exponent minus 6. Ngoba it's negative 5 minus 1. It's negative 6. Plus 0. This was rule number 1. N is less than 1. So now I answer here together, right? And then maybe a last one. R. What was that? R. Pasipha dx x exponent 13 minus 15 x squared plus 2x plus 3. Voila. I don't need to adjust anything ngoba kuna fraction, right? So therefore identify ama rules okumele ngiwa-apply la. This is rule number 3 because u-3 is constant. This is rule number, ngiyathula cabangani. This is rule number 2. How about this one? Okay, it's rule number bani? Rule number 1. How about this one? This is rule number 1 as well. Rule number 1 as well. Okay, now apply in ama differentiation rules here. So ama brackets ngiyawa remove ngoba ngiya differentiate ama. So it's 13 times 1 is 13. X exponent 12. 13 subtract 1. Rule number 1. Minus 2 times 15 is 30. Exponent 2 subtract 1 is 1. Rule number 2. Drop alo x. Kusalo bani? 2. Plus bani? 0. So this is our final answer. So ngizostopa lana because ngibona i-video yami sizothatha isikhathi eside ke manje. So thanks for watching. This was part 1 of a differentiation video series yethu. In the description below uzothola a link for part 2 as well as part 3. So lana I was just discussing ama basic rules and doing ama examples to show you ukuthi ama rules wethu siwa-apply kanjani and the different notations ukuthi siwa-apply kanjani. So ngiyabonga for i-support yenu guys. Nangabe interested ukuchecka ama advanced examples, please click lama link alapha below for part 2 and part 3. And I recommend ukuthi wabukele now ngoba in an exam anye ukuthola ama problems are simple njengala. Yabona? Lana it was just for giving you the basics. So thanks for watching. Ngizokubona kulama video in the description below. Peace.